Okay, shalom, y'all. Or in Hebrew, shalom atem. I wanted to go over the vowels again and then drill them a little bit with you guys because we need some practice here. So, as I said, the way that you want to compartmentalize the vowels in your mind is to know that you have a class of short vowels and a corresponding class of long vowels. So these are going to, we'll see that when words undergo historic changes, the long vowels can turn to short vowels, or the short vowels can turn to long vowels in different cases. But that's a bit much for now. So let's just focus on the pronunciation of these different vowels. So in my A class, I have the short A, which is patach, and it's pronounced A when it's under a letter. So if this were a bet in the box, it would be ba. And then I have my long vowel, which is pronounced the same way, and historically it would have been held a little bit longer. So let's imagine that there's another bait in this box, then it would be ba. Sometimes, especially at the end of a word, you'll have the helper vowel hey. But it's all pronounced the same way. The patach, ba, and ba are pronounced all the same way. Then we have our I-class vowels, the okay, looks like a little face with no mouth, so you could say what's that? If you had a bet in there, it would be be. And then when this is lengthened, you have bay, right? Like the A sound in they, so a little snake bite or just eyes, however you want to sort of remember it. Bay. The dot, the single dot, the chirik is an E sound. It's classified as an I vowel, but like many languages, it is pronounced as E. So if you had a bet with this little guy underneath it, it would be pronounced B. Be happy. I mentioned in class that the pronunciation method for this, the reason that this textbook uses I instead of E here is on the short I class vowel is because historically it may have been pronounced this way. So you could pronounce it bi, but I pronounce it B because that is the way it is pronounced in modern Hebrew in Israel. So, and then the long I sound usually will have the yod with it here. Okay, so chirik yod, and that is definitely 100%. You want to pronounce that as like the ayin unique or the ayin machine, right? So E. So if there was a bet in that box, it would be B. Then we get to the U class, the O and the U sound, okay? And the kametz katon, or the short kametz, although it is the exact same symbol up here, this will be used in different contexts, and I'll teach you to differentiate between the short O sound, bo, O, and the long A sound, ah. Okay, so this would be, if there was a bet in the box, it would be bo, and then the long O, a very similar sound, just held longer if you prefer to, although you don't need to hold it as long. In modern Hebrew, you wouldn't. So bo or bo, these guys are some of the only letters that deviate from the pattern of being underneath whatever the consonant is. So they will fall to the upper left or to the side, to the left immediately of the consonant in question. So again, you have helper vowels here for the long vowels. The yod likes the I class, the A, tzere, and the chirik, the E, and the vav is brought in as a borrowed vowel for the O sound and the U sound. As I said in class, if you see this guy to the left of any consonant and it's got the little light bulb above his head, think O. Oh, I have an idea. And if you see it with the sort of bruise in the belly, think ooh, like it just got punched. Okay? And then you've got your short U, which is the kibbutz, like rule, and the same pronunciation over here, U. Okay, so we talked about the borrowed vowels, borrowed consonants. They're being borrowed from the world of the consonants and used as vowels, so they are borrowed vowels. And then you've got these two guys, which are the same symbol but different sounds, and they're used in different contexts. They're classified differently, and we'll drill all of this. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the schwa or the schwa. Again, this means literally nothingness or empty, and it is the rabbinic sign for showing that there's no vowel in underneath a consonant. Okay, so that being said, there are different times or different occasions where the schwa, even though it's telling you, hey, there's no vowel here underneath this consonant, you'll still vocalize it due to some basic pronunciation rules. So if I just saw this, I wouldn't pronounce it as, well, I would pronounce it as d, right? D. Just the consonant with a little clipped E sound. You have another class, which are called the composite schwas, and these guys, right, here's the A class, so this would be A, like an abrupt or an abbreviated, really, A sound, an abbreviated E sound, an abbreviated O sound. And again, we'll practice all of these things. I'm just introducing the concepts at this point. Okay, so a schwa is a schwa is a schwa. So even though a schwa may not always be silent, it still is saying, hey, historically there's no vowel here. Okay, so you might say, why would the absence of a vowel marking still be vocalized? And it has to do with pronunciation rules. These pronunciation rules, linguistic factors, dictate whether a schwa is vocal or silent. So let's talk about those rules, okay? And these are in your book as well. So a schwa or a schwa under the first consonant of a word is vocal. And the reason for that, and we'll learn this in the next chapter, is that it falls at the beginning of a syllable in this case. So, in fact, there's really no way to pronounce this without a vowel sound. Sorry, someone walked by the room and I had to tell them, no, it's not a time that I can talk. So this right here would be melachim. So think about it like the A sound in maroon, right? Like the color maroon or being marooned. You don't say marooned, you say maroon. And another word that is sometimes used is the E in the beginning of because, right? We rarely say because I said so. It's often because. It's a clipped kind of swallowed E sound. So the same thing here, it would be melachim, melachim, melachim. You just kind of bump it, all right? So a vocal schwa, think about a vocal schwa as a speed bump. Like you're still moving, you have to move, but you have to kind of lessen the impact vocally, so to speak. Whereas a schwa under the final consonant is a stop sign. It's silent, right? Melech. You don't say melecha, it's melech. Melachim, melachim, melech. So beginning of the word vocalized, end of the word silent. A schwa in the middle of the word If it's after a long vowel, and here's where learning the differences between long and short vowels begins to matter in pronunciation. If it's after a long vowel, the schwa is vocal. So here you have the long E sound, ye, so yelechu. It wouldn't be yelchu, it would be yelechu. But after a short, right, here you have a short A vowel, this would be mam, and you stop, mam lacha, yelechu, mam lacha. It's a subtle difference, and we'll be drilling this over and over again. A double schwa at the front of a word is impossible. You will not have two schwas right next to each other. Hebrew will compensate for this in different ways, and we'll go over that later. A double schwa at the end of a word is silent, so it would be katalt. Okay? A double schwa in the middle of a word, the first one is silent, mam, like we saw before, and then lechot, mam, le, you can hear the bump, right? Mam lechot. It's not mam lechot, it's mam lechot. It's all a little bit foreign territory, I know that, but we'll be reviewing these things over and over again. Double schwa, what does it mean? Okay. Then we've got the pain of learning another dot. We have already learned our bagad kafet dot. That is what is referred to as the Dagesh Leni, and we'll go over this more in class. And it only occurs in bagad kafet letters. What you need to know is this never follows a vowel. Okay, so that's that. The doubling dot, we have a new dot. This is the pain of the pain of the new dot, right? So you have to learn another dot. Yes, you do. So the doubling dot is actually a grammatical change, right? The bagad kafet dot is more a linguistic and a pronunciation issue, whereas the doubling dot is actually doubling a consonant. This can appear in any consonant except gutturals and resh. So you will not find this happening in any of these guys. The tricky part is you can find it in bagad kafet dots. So you can have either a Dagesh Lene, which means, going back one, Dagesh Lene means a soft Dagesh. Dagesh Forte means a hard or a strong Dagesh. And Dagesh, again, just means emphasis. These are ways of emphasizing pronunciation or emphasizing the fact that it has another consonant subsumed within it. So what does that mean? That means that it literally doubles the consonant. So when you see for now a non-bagad kafet consonant and there's a dagesh in it, well then you know that this is a dagesh forte or a strong dagesh. So our book will say that you are to pronounce this as two separate letters, like chitete. No one does that, in fact, in actual speech in Hebrew. So what I am teaching you is you're going to pause a bit on it. So chite. And as we learn to read, this will become more and more nuanced. What happens if it has a shva? Well, then you treat it as if it's a vocalized shva. Why? Because it's as if it has two letters and that both of them have a shva. So now it's according to our rule where you have, I've got two shvas in the middle of a word, and it's as if it's saying yisedu. Again, we'll tease all of this out as we're actually reading, and I will remind you, and there's nothing to freak out about. I know it's all new information, and right now it's all going to be kind of cloudy. Okay, what you need to remember is after a vowel, right? So you see both of these have a chirek, an E sound beneath them. After a vowel, it's always going to be a dagesh forte. All right. After a shva, it's going to be a dagesh leni, and I'll talk more about this in class. For now, let's just keep it there. I'm not going to talk about the MAPIC. We can talk about that in the next class, as well as this other stuff. So sometimes we'll need to learn a bit more about classifications of vowels and how to tell a borrowed vowel from the actual consonantal use. But we'll do that in class. Okay. What I want to look at right now is your homework. As I said in class, you're going to have to do exercise 2. It's not 4. It's exercise 2, and I wanna walk through this with you. But you know what? I'm gonna do it in another video because if these videos get too big, they're hard to load. Okay, so look forward to the next video.